Hey guys, crazy thing happened today. I was just in the mall and I was having a coffee and having a chat with my sister, and uh, and I see this guy left the coffee shop. He left his bag there, like his backpack, and I was telling my sister, oh, maybe he went to the washroom or whatever. He left it unattended. It's not something I would never do. Leave my stuff unattended. And anyhow, when I see him walk out, what happened was he dropped something. I saw something like maybe something just fell out, but I didn't know what it was. And a few minutes later, I was talking to my sister. While I was talking to her, I see a guy coming in collecting money from the ground, and he's collecting money from the ground. And the thing that went through my head, I was like, oh my god, that money, it was like I thought it was the 20s, and there were 20s, but it's a lot of money. Anyhow, I see that guy collected the money, and you could tell when he grabbed everything off the ground, and he was looking around in disbelief, like, oh, he acting all lucky. Oh, how lucky I am. He came into the coffee shop. He bought 2 coffees, because at this point I'm focused on him. And I said to my sister, I think that money belonged to the other guy who just walked the other way. And my sister, oh, don't get involved, because I see the other guy coming back from the bathroom, wherever he came from. He came and got his backpack because somebody else grabbed his backpack. And what you call it, he was taking things out of his pocket and putting it on the table. Where does the money go? And he's like freaking out. Where did the money go? So at this point I was telling my sister, should I tell him the other guy took the money, the one who walked out? Because I looked up on the ceiling and I could see a camera. It's like this camera has like it's a mall, so it has like 4 directions. So I knew that he had no. And anyhow, my sister goes, oh, don't get involved, because he could accuse you of, if you couldn't find the other guy, he would accuse you're the one who took the money. It's none of your business. You shouldn't get involved or whatnot. And he, I said to her, I could hear him frustrated. He's like, oh, how could I get so unlucky? Oh, my wife is gonna kill me. He's like talking to himself really loud. And then I said to him, okay, I'm gonna go talk to him, because I felt bad for him. Losing money, especially lots of money, it hurts. You know what I mean? Because especially it's like it was his rent money. Anyhow, I went up to him and I said to him, I saw the guy who took your money. He walked out, he bought 2 coffees and left. And he was talking to the 2 girls behind the counter. And I said, they seem very friendly with him. They seem to know him. So I went back with him to those girls who work in the coffee shop. And mysteriously, they said they don't remember what he looks like. They don't know who he is, And we cannot pull the camera in this coffee shop because it has to go through management. I said, no, this happened. The guy dropped the money outside the coffee shop. And there's camera outside of the coffee shop in the mall, So you can tell they're not very helpful, So anyhow, he asked me for my name and stuff and a number, and I said yeah. I said to him, he goes, do you mind going with me on the street to see if we can find this guy? You just point him out to me. So I said, okay, I'll do that. So I said to my sister, let me call you back. I have to go with this guy, see if we can run into that guy. So anyhow, we went by the bus stops where, people waiting to get on the bus. And there is it's like this area, it's like one of those areas where people wait for the bus, and it's like it has glass doors and windows and stuff. So it's completely transparent. You can see who's actually inside. And he's lucky, this guy. I see the guy who found the money sitting down with his coffee and talking to another guy. And I said to him, do not talk to him, ask him nicely for the money. You have to shout at him and tell him, we saw you on the camera and stuff. So he went, he says, are you sure? I said, yeah, go ahead and do exactly what I just told you. Otherwise, he's not going to give you the money. He's not going to be intimidated. Because if you talk to him, he's like, man, can I have my money back? No, he's not going to give it back to you. You have to shout at him and act intimidating, Anyhow, we walk in there, and the security guard, as soon as he started, I said to him, I'll wait for you outside by the door. And it's a glass door, I could see inside, And I said to him, I could see him talking, man, what is my money? We saw you in the camera. He was doing all of that. And then when the security guards, there are 3 security guards came, and one of them started to put his gloves on. And he says, you guys gonna fight? You have to go outside if you're gonna fight. And I said, okay, I let me help the guy out. I walked in there, and I said to him, man, we saw you, security showed us in the camera. You're the one who took the money. Could you give him his money back? Yeah. I'm gonna give it to him. Just give me a minute. He's contemplating. He's like sitting there thinking, how am I gonna get out of this? And I said to him, police are, that guy said to him, and also I emphasized, I said to him, police are coming. And so if you give him the money now, they're not gonna charge you with anything because you gave the money back. But if you continue to hold the money hostage, the police is gonna charge you for theft because we have a proof. And we didn't ask. We asked security, but security says we have to get a police report to view the cameras. Anyhow, this guy ended up coughing up the money, and he spent $100. He took $100. That guy, he had 630. I think 630, and he gave him 480 something. And he says, "Where is the rest of my money? Where is the $100? There's $100 missing." And the guy went and bought a knife, a big ass knife. It looks like one of his machete knife. It's a huge knife for $50. And he says the rest of my money. He bought 2 packs of cigarettes. And he gave his girlfriend money to go and get them, I don't know, maybe weed, a bag of weed, whatever, Anyhow, that's $100 there. So he's like, I want the rest of my money, man. And so the security guard told him, the black guy, security guard, he says, because there were 2 Indian security guards and 1 black guy. The black guy started shouting at the guy who found the money, telling him, why would you spend somebody else's money? It's not yours. You found this money on the floor, and this guy, why would you spend his money? Well, he started shouting at him. So the security guard told him, that $50 knife, it's a big ass knife, excuse my French guys, but it's a big knife, it's a huge knife. He told him, you don't have to give that knife back. It still had the sticker on it. One of those it's not Swiss Army knife. It's not one of those little ones, folded one. No, it's like one of those you take hunting knife. Those ones. Anyhow, so he end up. The security guard told him, if the police are already coming, you also can take the $50 knife, because he paid $50 for this knife, and you can take that one because it's yours, it's part of your money. And then I said to the guy, what's your name? He goes, I'm Jimmy. And I said, I'm Osman. I said to him, I'm gonna go, but do not start anything. Do not use this knife on him or doing anything crazy. You got your money. Yeah, it's missing some, but it's better than nothing. I said to him, you could have had nothing. So think of it, it's better than having nothing. I said to him, you know what? He goes to me, you're right. What's your name? I said to him, I said to him, I'm Osman. And he gave me a big hug and told me, you're an angel. God sent you to help me. I was like, oh, thank you. You don't have to do that, But anyhow, so I left him there and I walked away, I called my sister back. I told her, we found the guy and gave him his money back. And my sister, she goes, you know what? You did the right thing, So, yeah. So it's like, past 2 days, crazy things happening. It's like, past a few months, just being targeted left and right, harassed in my my apartment. And now is like 3 days before I leave to UK visit my sister, things are just crazy things happening, but great things happening. Yesterday, like the Holy Spirit came and batted for me. He's like battling. What I'm saying, because the Holy Spirit knew, I was being mistreated at this coffee shop, where he came just swinging. I'm very happy to receive justice, even though it's it means a lot, even if it's tiny spectrum. It's a tiny thing, but it's huge for me. Anyhow, and now this guy get his money back. He's $530. He's missing $100, which is fine. Better than nothing. He could have had nothing. So it made me happy. It made me, I've done something, to help this guy, because losing money, especially your rent money, he could tell he was frantic, and he was all sweating and losing his, in the coffee shop, saying, oh my God, how could I get unlucky? I know the feeling when you're losing something really valuable. You know what, if you lose $1 and that's the only dollar you have in your pocket, that's huge to someone who didn't have anything but $1. You understand? The dynamic is, it's not about the value, but if it's like someone who had nothing and the only thing he had is $1. Dollar doesn't get you a lot, but hey, to that person it means huge. It means, you have to understand it. This is what it means. It means just things are worth to someone, and it may not be worth anything to you, but it means a lot to somebody who have lost it. So yeah, so people are quick to judge, but anyhow, that's a story. I don't think anything crazy is gonna happen the next 2 days before I leave. Freezing Canada, before I leave Canada. Thank God. I'm gonna go somewhere a little bit warmer. You know. Anyhow, that's a story, guys. So have a happy ending. Happy ending. Not that kind of happy ending, but hey, this is the end of the story. All right. Take care.